Okay, thank you so much for everybody for coming this beautiful, wonderful Saturday. And then thank you so much to also the Timothy Brown, the directors of International Arts and Artists. And then she invited us to have a exhibit this wonderful work of art. And then today particularly, he invited us two artists, the participant artists, and then my co-curator. All three of them is just arrived a week ago from South Korea. So the structures, we a little bit of a curatorial talk, and then there's an artist to talk, and then the Q&A session. So if you have any questions and concerns, and you have to wait until our whole overall presentation. Okay, so let me introduce first. I'm Jung-Shi Lee, and I'm teaching George Washington University, and also the independent curator here and there. And my co-curator, Professor Ko Dong-yeon, because we Korean use the last name first, Ko Dong-yeon, and then she's teaching at Ewha Women's University where I graduated, so we are kind of alumni. And this artist is Jung Jung-yeon. Her work is over there on the right word, and she's one of a matriarchal figure of Korean feminist art, and she participated in very important democratization movement in 1980s. And then also she paved the way for the feminist movement out of that. And then she's going to talk about her very particular work. And then this side is the An Ok-hyun. She's a media artist. Her work it is photography and then also the media work. And also she's a teacher as well. And so she's going to talk about her dictae, which is sort of the work that paid homage to the Terasa Hakkyongcha over there. So that kind of a content that we are going to discuss. Now, before we jump into the artists to talk, let me just briefly explain about our exhibition. This exhibition is about the women and their relationship with the society. I mean, the women, and particularly their writing practice with the society. As you all know that maybe the writing is as a part of social practice. And then these 18, total 18, by the way, we have 3 venues to show. So one show is a Koran School of Arts and Design. The other one is a Korean Cultural Center. It's very nearby, and then the Hilia here. So all 3 shows, actually, there's 18 artists participating here and there, at least to 2 different venues, right? So 12 from South Korea, from the Korea, and then 6 of them is here, the Korean diaspora, Korean American artists. So any artist, an initial concepts of our curatorial thinking was any artist who's working on against literary culture or Joseon period, any kind of a male-centered patriarchal writing practice or painting, broadly or mainly literary culture, because they think it is a calligraphy is almost equivalent with a painting or even hierarchically higher position than the painting, but for some reason totally excluded female participations on the writing calligraphy or broadly the literary cultures. So women are supposed to do very trivial, like an insect and flowers or any kind of domestic chores and things like that. So this younger generation is kind of challenging of that kind of norm or kind of social set it up. And then we expanded a little bit of a more other artists, especially the artists not necessarily working on the Korean traditional genre, but it's inspired by the Michel Foucault, archaeologist Michel Foucault, who insists any kind of a writing is part of outcomes of a social power is power, because someone who can dominate the writing system or history writing can dominate the whole social power. So any artist who's working on with the letters, text in their work, that we decide to include that kind of artist. So 2 portions. So there's 4 sub-themes of that. The first theme would be any artist who's incorporated or reinterpreting traditional genre, which is minhwa, which is folk painting or drama painting, or Jeongga. For example, An Seung-min's work over there in the back, or Oh Min-se's work over there is appropriated or challenged or reinterpreted a traditional work of art. And second sub-themes is a kind of including or commenting, incorporating pre-existing poem, particularly the female poem or written in very famous, the past, like a Heonan Seoreon or Kim Hae-sun is right now is the most important Korean poet, Kim Hae-sun's work. Jung Jeong-hyuk's work is, for example, commenting on that, the one in the Cochrane. And here again, you see that there's a background, there's some, the poem is Kim Soo-young, right? So she's working on a lot of poem and poetry. And then the third group might be a little bit performative and then interactive work of art and writing as a performance. For example, Hyun-jung Kim's working over here. She's working on, she incorporated Braille, you know, the languages for blind people, and then we can read by touching. So there is a very big kind of connection between the body and the languages, you know, that kind of interactions that she tried to do. And then, not here, but at the Cochrane, she had a very interactive work of art. People are supposed to wear the crown and then take a picture, putting on the Instagram and something like that. Everybody can be a king, everybody can be a part of art and things like that. The last group, but not the least, is the Terrace Hakyeong-cha and any artist commenting on that. So for example, Jin Jin-ho Kim on this back, and there is a poem which is is excerpt from the dictate of the one very famous genre-breaking kind of a prose and poems and diagrams and everything. It's very hard to even say a book. So she's commenting on that. And the 4 artists to work together also to pay homage to Teresa Hakyeong-cha's work, which is chorus dictate, or dictate we call that. So one of the artists is in here, An Ok-hyun, so she's going to talk about it. So my co-curator, Ko Dong-hyun, Professor Ko Dong-hyun will add some.
Yes, first of all, thank you for inviting us to have this opportunity. On behalf of Korean curatorial and artist team, I really express my deep gratitude. I don't know anything about this place at first, but when I received some history of Hillia Arts and Art Center, it was really amazing that it's play interesting local center for international community of artists. And I see the whole list of not only the visual artists, some of the performance artists and musicians had to play here, but most of them are Korean American artists or the artists who's working here. So this is going to be a wonderful opportunity for the center as well as for us to expand the horizon. We came from South Korea to form an exhibition with some artists coming from South Korea, dealing with some history, and as well as some Korean American artists working here. This idea was really originated from the project. This exhibition was funded by the Korean government under the title of Touring K-Arts, which means on the one hand, it promotes the Korean artists, but at the same time, it promotes the Korean artists' interaction with international community of artists and professionals. So it's not just theoretical sort of exploration of cultural identity, cultural confluences, but it's really practical way to form some like exhibition, form an exhibition based upon this idea. Professor Lee outlined a lot of interesting aspects, especially highlighting the 4 themes, you know, challenging the male literary tradition and how the female contemporary Korean artists working with the contemporary poetry, oftentimes with the socially critical issues. For instance, Kim Soo-young is another very famous poet in South Korea. He's a male, but he's the really symbolic figure for the generations of artists who have very socially critical views. His poems mostly written under the Park Chung-hee he kind of continued from the Japanese occupation, but he really sums up a really symbolic way of using poetry as a way to induce some visual images. So there's always popular followers among Korean artists. So there's a way the Korean female artists use the traditional, the contemporary poetry in their works, and the third is performative aspects. And we have the other works of Kokran, which really literally use their body to write something on it. So when the women's actually body used as a canvas, they oftentimes subject it to the social rules. But in our cases, some artists actively use their canvas to something that speak for themselves. And the fourth section is for diaspora and traditions of Chahakyang. And I wrote the entire text of Eros love poetry by Chahakyang. So if you have some chances to see more, you can check out some additional paper which shows the poems. For instance, there's Oh Min-sun's painting, which originated from the very famous Joseon Dynasty's painter Shin Yun-bok. He's a male painter. But another interesting aspect is that Oh Min-sun herself wrote the her poem on the top of the painting, and I kind of, because it's written in Korean, so I got the English translation on it, so you can actually always see this original text, because always it's not just the visual image alone, but other subtext and history. So it's not an easy exhibition, but at the same time, if you a little bit use your imagination, it's not that difficult. That we have this very interesting and pan whatever cultural traditions of using word and images to tell some stories. And let me introduce the Chung Jung-yeop, whose two paintings exhibited here. Also, we have another installations and the paintings at Kokran Gallery of Kokran School of Arts and Design. And yes.
저는 한국에서 그 페인팅, 설치, 퍼포먼스 다양한 작업을 하고 있고요. 또 주제로는 곡식과 팥 작업, 그리고 나방, 벌레 등 여린 생명체, 그리고 여성의 보이지 않는 노동 등 다양한 작업을 하고 있습니다.
She is a multi-genre artist doing performance work, painting, and other. She did actually activist work, so she's really her work actually spans around the different artistic media, and her theme is the first is the grains and the red beans and very kind of fragile type of small living organism, but particularly insects. And that leads to another interesting theme of women's labor. So she kind of continued to explore these themes.
이번에 출품한 작품, 첫 번째, 눈물 모양의 작업은 저는 사실은 제가 그리는 비는 씨앗이고, 씨앗은 생명체를 가지고 있습니다. 그리고 그 생명체는, 그 씨앗은 조형적으로 보면 하나의 점이에요.
What she's painting is beings, but in fact there are seeds representing the living force of the earth and nature. And this looks like the shape of teardrops, but in the end, the grains and beans goes back to the small dot, very small units of dots.
네, 그래서 저는 저 점이 씨앗이기 때문에 살아있는 점이고 어디든 굴러가서 무슨 얘기든 전해줄 수 있다고 생각을 해요.
Since these beings are seeds, so it can go everywhere, and it's a living thing, so it just kind of rolling. Whenever it goes, wherever it goes, it spread the message that it contains.
왼쪽의 눈물 모양의 작업은 한국의 제주 4.3 사건을 기획한 전시에 출품한 것인데요. 그들의 죽음, 억울한 죽음을 애도하기 위해서 그린 것입니다.
So this painting on the left was initially exhibited for the exhibition commemorating Jeju April 3rd uprising, and she kind of painted in the shape of teardrops to remember them and their death, her civilian casualty, and their repressed and sad, the repressed voices and the sadness. Jeju April 4th, April 3rd incident is one of a very tragic civilian massacre happened in 1947 until the 1948, just before the Korean War that broke up in 1950s. It was considered to be the first stage in the breakup of the intense ideological conflicts in the Korean Peninsula. And this is a whole story about the whole Jeju. Almost 1/3 of the Jeju population was wiped out with this communist hunt down by the Korean government itself. So the American military is deeply involved with it, and you can definitely find it from internet.
그 씨앗은 생명을 담고 있기 때문에 저는 그 자체로 발언을 담고 있고 그리고 말하는 씨앗이라고 말하고 싶습니다.
So that as these seeds has a life in it, living force in it, so she's thinking that it can speak and it can bring some messages, and in itself represent it's basically alive, living things that kind of constantly reminds it.
그리고 저 레드빈 팥은 한국에서는 특히 부정을 막아내고 풍요를 기원하는 의미를 담고 있어요.
In South Korea, these red beans represent some force to prevent oneself from being overwhelmed by the evil power. So it's kind of considered to be proactive materials. So that's why she's actually writing down.
그 오른쪽에 그 김수영 그 작가 시인 그 시인의 100주년 전시를 하게 되었는데 그때 저기에 있는 글씨들은 그가 쓴 모든 시의 제목을 다 쓰고 그 위에 팥을 뿌려서 그를 애도하기도 하고 또 그의 슬픔을 막아내는 그런 의미로 제작하게 됐습니다.
The work was exhibited to the exhibition that commemorates this Kim Soo-young. He's a very famous male poet who was originally a journalist. So it was submitted at the time, and all writings underneath the image of beans are the titles, all the titles of the Kim Soo-young's poems. And then she painted over with the beans. But as again, the beans is a living thing, so it can have a voice. It can express that the sadness of Kim Soo-young. And Kim Soo-young always commemorate the victims and the people with no power. So she kind of wanted to energize the Kim Soo-young's message and his sadness. Because he's intellectual, most of his poems is about some of the inability to help the people with less power. So that's the sadness related to that.
마지막으로 그 코코란에 전시되어 있는 작품을 짧게 소개를 하면 저 비누로 글씨를 썼어요. 그 글씨는 그거는 억울한 사람들을 위로하기 위해서 쓴 글씨고 그 다음에 거울 설치 작품이 있어요. 여러 개의 서랍이 달린 거울. 근데 거기에 시가 써 있는데 그 시는 모든 것을 기억하는 물이라는 김혜순 씨의 시가 적혀 있습니다.
Uh, she's also introducing her paintings and objects currently exhibited at Cochrane School of Arts and Design. One painting is titled "Outward," is resentment or grievance against unfairness, and that takes a similar format. The other object, which is vanity, and on it, the one part has the mirrors, small mirrors attached, and then for the rest of the part, she wrote down the poem by Kim Hae-sun. The title is "The Water That Remembers Everything," and Kim Hae-sun is most famous, admired the contemporary feminist poet in South Korea. She was the first female, almost the Asian literary figure who inducted as a National Academy of Arts and Letters in the United States. So she's really the most important figures in contemporary feminist poems, actually contemporary Korean poetry.
여기까지.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the artist An Ok-hyun and the media artist. So can you share your
네.
thought on?
네, 안녕하세요. 저는 안옥현이고요. 저는 사진과 비디오를 주 매체로 작업을 하고 있고, 그리고 어떤 개인의 내면의 감정이라는 걸 넘어서 어떤 사회적인 시선과 어떤 사회적인 관계, 그리고 또 시간성을 조금 가로지르면서 드러나는 그런 감정을 들여다보는 작업을 하고 있습니다. 저는 이번에 그 차학경의 딕테라는 책을 이제 읽으면서 작업한 작업으로 지금 그 한국문화원과 코코란에서 이제 작품이 보여지고 있는데요.
If I add on her what she's saying, during the pandemic, through the Zoom, the four artists got together and then working on the dictate, the book of the Teresa Hakkyung-cha. So these four media artists not just to cite of her excerpt, but the comment on them, and then they kind of creating their own response to that. So you have to check it out. So that video, Dictate 1, Dictate 2, you can find in the Cochrane as well.
네. 그래서 저희가 이제 기획한 딕테 프로젝트는 이제 그때가 팬데믹 시기여서 사람들을 직접 만날 수 없어서 이제 온라인으로 참여자를 받아서 한 퍼포먼스였는데요. 이제 참여자들이 딕테의 에라토 연애시를 읽고 그 텍스트에 반응하는 퍼포먼스를 하셨고요. 그리고 이제 20명이 넘는 참여자들이 이제 동시에 그 텍스트를 읽는 그런 어떤 합창 형식의 퍼포먼스를 했습니다.
Not just to these four artists, they invited another artist. Total number of participants was 21 artists. So 21 virtual performance, media performance, so to speak. And then they just tried to read the Erato poem, love poem, which is excerpted from the Dictate book, but at the same time, they kind of created their own personal response to it. So it's how long does it take? It's
performance-요?
I mean the whole the virtual performance.
More than 40 minutes.
More than 40 minutes. There's the first version and the second version.
그래서 그게 이제 어떤 그 동시대적인 여성적 말하기를 합창 형식으로 한 퍼포먼스라고 의미를 두고 있습니다.
So every individual tried to comment on the women's attitude or speaking in contemporary mode, and then the response on that.
네. 그리고 지금 KCC에서 하고 있는 그 작업은 이제 러브 포엠이라는 작업이고요. 그거는 그 차학경 딕테의 에라토 연애시에 나오는 텍스트를 편집해서 가지고 왔어요.
So she has a much more diverse work in the Korean Culture Center. There's photography and then there's a media work. And her media work, it is an amazing, the media work. She appropriate again the Teresa Hakkyung-cha's love poem, Erato love poem, and then she totally revised on her own version.
네, 그래서 이제 그 비디오는 그 차학경이 쓰는 그 고유의 어떤 받아쓰기로서의 받아쓰기라는 방식을 가지고 와서 하는 그 말하기의 그 형식이었고요. 그리고 또 거기에는 이제 3명의 그녀와 1명의 당신이 등장하는데 3명의 그녀는 그 에라토를 이제 읽으시면 거기에 어떤 스크린 속에서 등장하는 그녀, 그리고 스크린의 그녀를 바라보는 객석에 앉은 또 그녀, 그리고 그 모든 상황을 또 카메라의 시선으로 또 찍는 어떤 인물. 그래서 그거를 저는 어떤 그 고정된 그 자아가 아닌 굉장히 그 변형되고 분절된 그 그녀로서 3명의 인물을 등장시켰습니다.
Inner media arts, it's an Erato love poem. But there are 4 people, 4 protagonists, 3 she's, 3 women, female, and 1 you is a male. Yeah, 1 you, male. So they're all the different kind of a beholder. One is like someone who's beholding them, maybe through the camera eyes. The other one is sitting over there, and the other she's where? Oh yeah, screen. So on the screen, and then you is outside of the.
유는 남성이고요.
It's a male.
네,
The where
네.
is it? You.
비디오에서는 이제 그 3명의 그녀가 어떤 말하기를 하고 있는데 낯선 남자가 이제 들어와서
okay.
그것을 구경하고
The dictée, the title of a dictée, it means in the French, actually, its meaning is a dictation. If you translate it in English, it's a dictation. Someone is to speak, somebody just write it down to know your spelling, your grammars, right? That's a part of your language practices, which is a dictée. But maybe the Teresa Hakkyongchang use it differently, this dictée. It's about the social practice of speaking. So all these 3 she's and the 1 you, which is male, and then the male try to get into the house. I just watched that like 3 times, but even more than the 3 times, but still I can't really clearly remember because it's a very intricate structure. That's why it's very appealing and it's very attractive, actually, the film in itself, because it requires your effort to understand. So this male, you, is trying to get into this woman's realm. That's my understanding.
그리고 이제 그 비디오에 등장하는 4명의 인물은 어떤 한국의 굉장히 가부장적 사회 아직까지 그런데 이제 그런 가부장제를 조금 거부하거나 거기에 벗어나 있는 그런 인물들을 그 등장인물로 정했습니다.
These 3 female she is trying to liberate it from patriarchal to Korean society.
남자도 마찬가지고요.
Male also. Okay.
네, 그렇습니다.
사진 얘기도 하세요. 사진.
사진. 네, 이제 그 작업과 함께 이제 사진 작업이 있는데 그 사진 작업은 제가 이제 사랑에 빠졌거나 현재 사랑에 빠져 있거나 아니면 과거 이제 사랑을 했었던 사람을 제 작업실에 초대해서 당신의 사랑의 감정을 이제 말로 표현해 달라고 했어요. 그래서 이제 그분들이 자신의 사랑의 감정을 이제 끌어내기 위해서 사랑의 노래를 이제 2시간 동안 반복을 하거나 뭐 러브 포엠을 이제 낭독을 하거나 뭐 사랑의 그 편지를 읽거나 했거든요. 네.
She did experiment about the expression of love. She invited the persons who fell in love in the past or who is falling in love right now into her studio, and then let them express your love through reciting your love letter or confessing or singing in various ways for 2 hours in her studio.
네. 그래서 이제 그 사진 작업은 이제 결과적으로 그 2가지의 어떤 어려움을 안고 있었는데요. 한 가지는 어떤 사랑이란 감정을 언어로 표현하기가 거의 불가능했다라는 것과 그리고 또 한 가지는 제가 이제 그 카메라 뒤에서 사진을 찍는 자로서 이제 카메라가 그들의 감정을 담아낼 수 없었다라는 2가지의 실패.
So she concluded it's two failure. The number one is people cannot express fully the emotion of love, And then the second failure would be she, as a photographer, couldn't catch the feeling through this media of photography. That's it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.